Warming up Andrey Rublev before he takes on Alexander Zverev, an opponent he has never ever defeated before. This is gonna be fun, let's go. What's up guys and welcome back to Gladiators Tennis, and this is part 2 of the video about me playing with Andrey Rublev for the whole week of the Dubai duty-free ATP 500 event in Dubai. In case you haven't seen part 1, I'll leave a link to it up there, so maybe go check it out first before watching this so it makes a little bit more sense. But also guys, we've been super active on Instagram, so if you're interested in some tennis related vertical content, check us out over there. And also might as well throw in my personal Instagram, nothing fun there, but you know, just my life. Anyways, the last 4 in the game are Andrey Rublev, Alexander Zverev, Daniel Medvedev and Novak Djokovic. So let's flashback to the day of the semifinal. In the morning of that day, I already knew that I was warming up Andrey, so I went down to have my breakfast like I usually would and then headed to the club several hours in advance. They were cleaning up after the players' party, which was quite awesome even though I wasn't exactly invited.
Let's go party.
Excuse me, are you on the guest list?
You don't want to even let me in, man.
I managed to get through the security, so please don't tell anybody.
Anyways, back to reality. I went to the gym to warm up and stretch a little bit, and by the way, this is the time when I took the photo with Elena Rybakina. Then headed over to the stringers to pick up my rackets. I of course changed the brand new grip to an even brand newer to make sure that my racket doesn't slip out of my hand, and headed to the center court because that was where the warm-up was going to take place. I had a little bit of time to set up the cameras perfectly and do another quick warm-up to, well, stay warm, because you know, playing with Andrey cold is not the best idea if you want to keep your joints where they belong. How do you like this view, by the way? Literally gets the entire center court in the shot. I think it's quite cool. Andrey arrived and it was time to start the warm-up. As I said, today he was playing Alexander Zverev, and at that point Andrey hasn't defeated him ever before. In fact, their head-to-head shows that he hasn't even ever taken away a set from him. And considering that prior to Dubai they've played 5 times, including once in the Australian Open where Zverev took Andrey out in straight sets, this really wasn't a good start going into the match. But regardless of all that, I had a feeling that Andrey would make it into the final for some reason. Not just because Zverev is coming back from an injury, no, he's coming back but he's playing pretty well, but because I just felt like he had it. Oh, and did I mention that Andrey is defending a title here in Dubai? But yeah, straight from the first rally I could tell that this really wasn't a good day for me. I was just not feeling the ball well, and the pressure that I was experiencing from playing such a high-ranked player like Andrey was just not leaving me. Unlike Daniil, who is super chill during the practice and is really good at creating a very relaxed and comfortable atmosphere on court, Andrey is super focused, serious and concentrated on the practice or warm-up, and that puts a lot of pressure on me in this case. Definitely not something I can blame Andrey for sure. You gotta be concentrated on the practice if that's what it takes, but still, the stress was just not fading. Don't get me wrong though, he's still an awesome, funny and very kind guy, alright? But because we aren't the closest of friends, there was obviously some distance. Notice how as soon as Andrey takes the speed up a notch, it's no longer doable for me to stay so close to the baseline. So for the next rally, I take a step back. By the way, I gotta say that Andrey wasn't too solid either on that day, making very many unforced errors and not being as precise with his shots as he usually is. So yes, forehand cross courts it is, and I'm staying far from the baseline, trying my best to simply return the missiles that are coming from Andrey's forehand, whereas he is just switching down the line whenever he feels like it. Even here, I gotta say that both of our shots are far from being precise. I'm hitting the ball quite late, making it go more to the center of the court rather than proper cross court, and Andrey seems to be sometimes messing up the distance with the ball when trying to switch down the line, therefore causing the mistake. He makes quite a few mistakes to the net before he manages to calibrate the switch, but eventually we both get the hang of our shots and rallies become somewhat consistent. These few clips literally show us that even the highest ranked and best performing players out there have bad days and can miss several balls in a row almost the same exact way. But they don't get frustrated because of a mistake, or even if they do, it doesn't end up affecting their performance on the training, and they end up fixing that mistake within the next few minutes instead of stretching it into weeks or months like some of us do. And this is the main key to improving the quickest and getting to where you want to be the fastest. Yeah, where did that ball come from? Oh well, it's backhand cross-court time, and here the situation is quite a bit better. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that I can handle Andrey's shots way better with my backhand than with my forehand, or because we're both somewhat warmed up, but here the healthy and pretty high pace is maintained consistently over several rallies in a row. That provokes occasional blah outbursts, causing a pretty big smile on my face. Oh, Glads, by the way, this might not be the first time I'm asking that, but are you subscribed to the channel? Believe it or not, but there's more stuff from Dubai as well as content from my own tournaments coming up, so if you're interested, subscribe and maybe even hit the bell to make sure that you get the notifications whenever we upload. This rally is going to be a little bit of a mess because we're both going to be trying to put the ball back in the game and kind of failing to do so. Yep, that's me getting pissed at myself for being a little bit stupid. At some point, however, we managed to put the rally back on the rails. Oh, notice how now Andrey will try to take an inside out and finish the point, but the angle of my shot is just so incredibly insane that even he can't make it. Hashtag not flexing whatsoever, but yeah, that didn't last too long as he ended up finishing the rally literally with the next shot he took. Volleys time, and to warm up those, Andrey literally takes 2 rallies and then tells me to start throwing lobs for the smash warm-up. It's now time to warm up the serves, and another difference that I noticed comparing Rublev's warm-up to Medvedev's is that Daniel takes maybe 5 water breaks during the warm-up, whereas Andrey often doesn't even take one. After the quick serve warm-up, it's time for the return warm-up, and Andrey once again allows me to warm up my own serve before serving full power, which is always nice. Serving randomly, my first serves are causing a pretty good amount of damage to Andrey, and at some point even, an ace managed to escape my racket. Unlike the first serves, second serves were causing way less damage, and even though I wasn't serving slow, Andrey was killing pretty much every single one of them. That's where I realized that I really gotta improve my second serves. After this pretty decent return, his coach points at the baseline, which I'm assuming means that Andrey has to return deeper to the opponent's forehand in case of a righty. Considering that Andrey is facing Zverev in the semi-final and the obviously more favorable point development for Andrey is if they play forehand to forehand, this advice makes all the sense in the world, as this kind of return would force his opponent to play a cross-court forehand, giving Andrey the initiative. After we shook hands, Andrey still wanted to dial in his ground strokes with some basket exercises. At the exit from the stadium, dozens of fans were waiting for Andrey to get a photo with him or a signature. Good thing they didn't see me. Whew. The match. Oh my god. This time I actually didn't end up watching it live because my entire family was at the tournament and I didn't have time to get the tickets for them, so I stayed with them to watch the match on the outside TV. Gotta say, it was super nerve-wracking, not only because of the score and the fact that there's a massive delay between the stadium and the live broadcasting, so people at the stadium would clap while the point on the TV is still ongoing, but also because, you see, People think that the world revolves solely around them. So whenever Andrey would make an unforced error, I'd be like, damn it, it's my fault. I didn't do good enough of a job warming him up, which is kind of funny. But what's also kind of funny is that when Andrey did manage to win the match with a super tight score, defeating a player he has never defeated before, I was totally taking a small part of the credit for that. After the match, Andrey's press conference was just hilarious. His opponent in the final was yet to be decided. It was between Daniil Medvedev and Novak Djokovic, and this was his reaction.
Now I have nothing to lose. Either it's Daniel or Novak. If it's Novak, then I have nothing to lose even double. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
Or you beat him in the final.
Where, Novak? Yeah, but there I was lucky.
No strategy.
After another incredibly nerve-wracking match, Medvedev versus Djokovic, the final has been confirmed. It was Andrey Rublev versus Daniil Medvedev, and on that day, my happiness was just through the roof. Imagine, two of the players that have been warming up from round 1 all the way up to the semifinals, well, with Andrey not exactly, but still, would meet in the final having defeated super tough opponents in the semifinals. I was just, oh! But then I realized, wait, tomorrow one of them is going down. So I'm like, oh, that's sad. And on the evening of that day, I get a message from Omar saying that I am warming up both of the finalists, and it immediately feels wrong. But anyways, there I am on the center court waiting for Andrey to arrive, and so he arrives. We had some problems with the net, well, problems in the sense that the thin net posts were not there, so Andrey was putting them and I decided to help. And then of course I messed up putting that post and it fell, so Andrey laughed and helped me put it back. After figuring out the net situation, it is time to start the warm-up, and I have to say that once again I'm feeling the pressure that is just constantly keeping my movement tight, and as much as I try to relax and let it go, nothing is working. Andrey seemed to be quite nervous on that day, or at least to me it looked like. Maybe because of that, I was also feeling a bit more pressure and stress. Anyways, the warm-up has kind of started, and again, first it almost seems like two beginner tennis players got on court to play on a Sunday evening, because the speed of the ball is super low, the footwork is at like 30%, and we're just chilling. Slowly, however, the pace of the ball starts to increase, as well as the footwork. Even though I am feeling tight as hell, looking at the rally from the side, you can't really tell. I was doing a surprisingly decent job at maintaining the rhythm pretty well. What's interesting about warming up on the center court on the day of the finals is that spectators are slowly starting to arrive, and as the warm-up progresses, you will see how the stadium is starting to slowly fill up. Okay, at this point you can kind of tell that the pace of the ball is getting to around 80-90% of the speed as you start to hear Andrey grunt and seeing me start to really move my feet. Oh yeah, Glads, like always, if you're interested in any of Andrey's gear, I will leave a link to his player profile with all the gear he uses in the description below, together with a discount code. So if you're interested in purchasing anything tennis related, feel free to use it. As a Gravity user myself, I have to definitely recommend the racket that Andrey Rublev endorses, the Head Gravity Pro. It is just an incredible frame. Glads from the US, you can already reserve the new version of the Gravity. The rest of us still gotta wait a little bit, but the previous gen is on a pretty big discount right now. Either way, I will update the links as soon as the new one is out in Europe too. But oh, it's time for the forehand cross courts, and here again, I'm surprising myself with how well I'm managing to handle Andrey's insane rhythm. I'm not managing to do it with every ball, and I did miss a few shots quite poorly, but some rallies were looking quite professional and solid. My shots were landing quite deep with pretty decent power, and I wasn't just pushing the ball back to him. When he's done warming up the cross course, he starts to switch down the line sometimes, like the usual, doing it way more often than he normally does this time though. We're done with the forehands and it's time for the backhands, and for some reason the beginning of the cross-court backhands naturally turned out to be a backhand-to-backhand slice rally that eventually evolved into a normal rally where I was completely dominating Andrey in every possible scenario. No, I'm just kidding. It was a normal rally. So yeah, in the final, Andrew was facing his childhood friend and childhood enemy on court, Daniil Medvedev. Needless to say, it was going to be a tough match. Ex-number 1 in the world, a Grand Slam winner, and in general a very hard opponent to play against. Considering he was coming from taking 2 titles in a row with great confidence, and he has also defeated Novak in the semi-final, it made sense why Andrey could be a bit stressed.
I'm stressed a bit.
Even though their head-to-head was also in Daniil's favor, Daniil leading 4-2, the last 2 matches they've played were taken home by Andrey, so on paper it was pretty hard to tell who would take the crown in Dubai. As we continue to play backhand to backhand, Andrey takes a few steps to decide to make space for his inside-out forehand, and then starts to occasionally switch down the line like always. But that's the thing, he's mainly doing it with his forehand. You almost never see Andrey play down the line with the backhand. If he does, it's a very slow shot that you can reach to relatively easy.
Have some of that.
The main idea playing against Rublev is to basically never let him take his forehand, keeping that backhand to backhand cross-court rally going, making the angle shorter and shorter, and then changing down the line when an opportunity appears, praying that he doesn't reach to it easily. The problem here though is that his footwork is just out of this world, and he's probably gonna get the inside-out forehand no matter what you do. So my entire analysis was pretty much useless. Anyways, volleys, and like always, Andrey doesn't spend too much time volleying and just gets it done quickly. And neither does Andrey spend a lot of time smashing, in this case only needing 4 smashes to warm up. Time for the serves warm up, and I am just becoming a beast return. No matter where the 200 km/h serve is going, forehand, backhand, body, anything, I got this. I actually have to say that if there is a shot that I definitely improved from my trip to Dubai, it has to be the return. I just feel so much more confident returning serves at my level of tournaments that it's actually crazy. By the way, as I said, people are still slowly coming in, preparing for the finals. Returning from the other side, and the same thing here, feeling the confidence running through my veins as I'm easily returning Andrey's serves. Whoops, missed an ace there.
So that's why the big party later.
Now, something really annoying is about to happen. You ready for this? Now. Yep, someone knocked down my camera. Luckily, the shot is still decently framed, so we're still rolling.
Daniil. No, but don't do that. Don't do that.
At this point, both of Andrey's coaches are on my side looking at me serve. Almost seems like Andrey's the one warming me up for the match. Kinda cool. Yep, nice. Yeah, guys, I have an insane ball awareness, as you can tell. And once again, as I'm serving my second serves and they're getting absolutely demolished by Andrey, I'm solidifying the understanding of needing baskets upon baskets of second serves to make it my weapon rather than my weakness. As I'm serving these last few serves, I'm realizing just how many people have been watching the warm-up, and I didn't even notice. I guess that's the answer of how athletes deal with performing at huge arenas with thousands of spectators. They just kind of fade away and focus on the main objective. They stay concentrated to a point where the outside stops disturbing them. And once again, after the warm-up was done, Andrey did a few baskets to dial in his shots for the match. After finishing to warm up Andrey and warming up Daniil, I went to the spa to take a quick ice bath. What was funny on that day is that I was walking around the club with my tennis clothes on, my rackets and my bag, and also my bandana, and I kind of looked like a tennis player, so very many people started confusing me with Andrey. Well, some with Andrey and some with Daniil. I'm not sure how that happens, but still.
Can we have a picture, please?
I'm not a player.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
At some point, a guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, sorry, can I take a photo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, but do you know who I am?" And as he's pulling out the phone to take the selfie, he's like, "Of course, who doesn't know you?" So yes, that was funny, but it was time for the final. It was definitely a very weird feeling watching this match for obvious reasons. And even though Andrey did start playing very well, aggressive, but at the same time looking solid, it just seemed like there was absolutely nothing that could stop Daniil from taking that title, and he did.
He cannot stop winning right now.
The ceremony, as expected, was very cute, and the one making it cute, of course, was Andrey, with his super kind words of gratefulness to the audience and respect to Daniil.
I think there is no words that I can be grateful for support like that I've had in my life. And I don't know, maybe he didn't like it. You cry a bit or no? No, a bit, only a bit.
And that was it. An incredible journey filled with awesome experiences, and I really hope that I did a decent job of bringing you Glads with me on this crazy adventure. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.